Hello and welcome to the Surprisingly Music Podcast. I'm Trevor,
I'm Taryn.
and we are here to give you our music opinions because our music tastes are better than yours.
We just like varying versions of rock music, but yeah, sure.
I mean,
Do you
I'll
think
listen to
we'll
some pop music?
Do you think we'll ever do an album that's not like the same?
Well, that's
shit?
the thing. Like, I think like our music tastes are very different.
Dude,
so the ones that I like that are not rock, you're gonna hate. You want to listen to Pokey Lafarge?
That just sounds terrible.
It's great.
So, I don't know. I feel like I'm already having a midlife crisis of not knowing what albums to pick because it's like, oh, that's too similar to that album.
Yeah, but that's the thing is,
Yeah.
we're gonna find our niche. And we're
Eventually,
gonna stick in that.
Eventually, I'll be like, all right, and now you're gonna listen to the Black Dahlia Murder.
And then eventually, I'm going to be like, you're going to have to listen to Taylor Swift.
Ew. All right, but today we are talking about Royal Blood.
Yes.
I don't have a stutter. That's the album title in the band.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Especially for their first album. Which is
was their first album?
This is their first album.
Okay.
They released a couple singles,
Yeah.
but this is their first album, Royal Blood.
I don't know how to feel about like self-titled albums. Like Paramore's was like their fourth. Was their self-titled? That's weird.
It can only be your first album.
Oh, gatekeeping. Okay.
No, I mean, that just makes sense. You're supposed to evolve, not devolve.
Do you think you should on the album also have a song that is self-titled? Or should
Royal
you just...
Blood by Royal Blood on Royal Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's
I actually thought that when
if that's not your best song, you really failed as a band.
Yeah. So, Royal Blood. Let me pull up my notes here.
Alright,
Royal Blood, just a background on the band. It's a two-piece band. You have Mike Kerr on bass, and then you have Ben Thatcher on drums. So that is something that I wanted to talk about briefly, is that it's a two-piece band. It's bass and drums, not guitar and drums.
Yeah.
Not a singer and drums.
So
bass and drums.
This is gonna be my first jab at the band.
Mm-hmm.
I love the band. So let's start off by saying that I'm a huge fan of Royal Blood. Their
Okay.
music is fucking awesome. Definitely gets my rocks a moving. My stones, if you know what I mean.
It rolls your stones.
So the bassist is a bit of a cunt.
Is it because he wears the same exact shirts that you do?
No.
Why don't you like him? I don't know what about him.
Because I tried to research more like on how they achieve their sound, and he's like, no, that is something I'm gonna take with me to the grave. You guys will never know how I make my bass sound like it does. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you egotistical prick. Your sound is not that special. It's cool, but it's not that special where you're like, I'm bringing this to the grave with me.
No, I get that. That definitely is like a very artsy
Yeah.
thing to say. But when you look at him and see the shirts that he wears, I definitely
Yeah.
I see that Taryn
Yeah.
wearing the cheetah print shirt.
Yep.
So like because Royal Blood is one of the bands that I'll put on at like work when I'm the only one there, and listen
Yeah.
to them usually live shows because those are always really fun. They're really good live. I've seen them live. Yeah, you should probably do that. Because that's the whole gist of our episode. You drink energy drinks and I drink alcohol.
You have like 2 energy drinks on your side table. Shut up.
I have one energy drink. But anyway,
That's how you bring 2 Kickstarters.
nope. I only got one Kickstart and I got 2 beers. So
Ooh.
we're ready to rumble.
And a bottle of bourbon.
I wish. But anyway, Royal Blood live is so fucking good. I've seen them live, which I want to talk to you about, Taryn. Because when they came to the Wonder Ballroom in Portland, I bought 2 tickets. And where were you? Where were you, Taryn? Where were you?
I was
Where the fuck were you?
I was with Valerie. Valhalla.
Valhalla, that fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to point that out that I had to go to the concert alone.
Oh my god.
Alone.
How many Warped Tours did I go to without you? A fuck ton.
How many did you invite me to? 1, and I went with you. So eat a dick.
You always had an invite. It's not my fault you didn't cap in on it.
Because I went to 1 and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fuck Warped
I
Tour.
tried to make Valerie go to more than one and she was not game.
Yeah, so
She hated
it just was, like, it was, okay, it was fun. It was fun.
Music festivals are always fun unless they're like country or EDM. because then they're surrounded by garbage.
Ooh, hot take.
Hot takes with a broad brush.
Broad brush.
Stroking that thing across.
That's a broad paintbrush you got there.
Yeah.
You should go check out the Sober podcast.
But today we are here to talk about Royal Blood.
Yes. So it's a two-piece band, which you apparently hate. You hate Mike Kerr.
Who's going to be featured on the new Architects album.
Yes.
Super stoked for that.
Yeah, so that is that.
That'll be his metalcore debut.
Yes. And that's kind of something I want to talk about, too, is that you listen to metal. Like, you listen to gent and shit like that.
True
like
metalheads would hate my music taste, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry that you don't listen
From
to
the
fucking-
outside, I am a metalhead, but from the metalhead community, I'm a poser bitch.
Yes. But I feel like this is the one band that bridges
Where we get to hold hands
you
in
and
the
me.
middle.
Yeah. This is like if we were a Venn diagram, this is where we overlap Royal Blood. It's rock and roll with some extra hot sauce on it,
Yeah.
which is distortion.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call. Distortion is
Dude,
just hot sauce for
if
music.
we really need to start making music just so that we can release a line of pedals, and the distortion pedal could be called Hot Sauce.
Yeah. And we can name it after Taco Bell hot sauces.
God, no.
Medium. I don't even know. I don't even get. When they ask me for Taco Bell, I'm like, fuck you. I don't need your
Dude,
hot sauce.
and like on the drive, it could have like mild, medium, hot, and
Yeah.
spicy.
I like that. We don't even have to make music. We can just make those.
Yeah, but I feel like who's gonna want to buy our pedals if we're just
Do you even know how to
nobody?
make a pedal?
Well, no, we would just like license someone else to make them. Just like how like when you buy fucking canned green beans at a store and you see the Del Monte and the Kroger and the Green Giant, they all come from the same warehouse.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so we would just pay a manufacturer to make them, and then we would put our designs on them
Yes.
and mark up the price by 300% and then sell them.
Yeah. So Royal Blood is a band from England. They're British.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't tell by their accents?
I listen to their music. I don't listen to them.
Well,
Like,
okay.
it doesn't really come through in the music.
They are
Everyone
from,
sounds good.
They
American.
are from Brighton, England, which is on the southern coast. It's a seaside town. I bet you didn't know that England is it's an island. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
It's surrounded by coastal waters.
Water. That's so wet.
So Brighton is on the English Channel from the map that I looked at. I don't know if that's accurate, but it looked like it. So
yeah.
and I definitely know my English Channel map literature. I'm a big fan. Not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of World War II. I'm just.
I thought you were going to say, like,
I'm
you're
very-
a big fan of England, like, being a weeb for Japan. Like, you're the equivalent of that.
What would be the equivalent of a
dweeb.
weeb? A dweeb. So yeah, Royal Blood, two-piece band. Now I think two-piece bands are becoming the future.
They're cool.
Because another band that you and I both love is I Don't Know How, But They Found Me.
Who are amazing.
Bass and drums.
So, I almost want... I mean, we could do the EP, but I really want to talk about them. And they only have one album that came out this year, Breaking Our Rule.
I was actually thinking that maybe we should break the rule for them, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Surprisingly sober.
Yeah. Now, this album came out in 2014 because we were just talking about a rule,
Yep.
1 year rule. The album can't have come out in the last year.
365 days, 66 if it's a leap year.
Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, this came out in 2014. It was nominated for the Mercury Prize Best Album, which is the best British or Irish act or whatever, you know. So it was
Cool.
So in England, they're a big deal. They're kind of a big deal. So
I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
I'm I just myself. So the singles off this album are called "Out of the Black," "Little Monster."
I thought this was my job.
No, that's you tell the track listing. I tell the singles.
Okay.
The singles are "Out of the Black," "Little Monster," "Come On Over," "Figure It Out," and 10-ton skeleton. Yeah. And actually, I did a little bit of reading on this band before. So this is their first album. It came out in 2014, August of 2014. The band started in 2013. So they came out pretty quick.
Yeah.
They were
Well, I mean,
pretty
like,
quick.
they were probably already just two buds
Yes,
and
they
they
were.
probably went into it with a lot of like stuff already there.
Yes.
So that first year was probably just like them organizing and getting into the studio and stuff.
So yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is that they were both friends from being teenagers
Yeah.
in bands,
That's
and they
adorable.
were both musicians. They in bands, and they both were.
Hey
touring.
Trevor, were they in bands?
Yes, they were both touring in Australia when they met in an airport and were talking about forming a band together. And they started rehearsals the next day and started playing at bars and stuff. Remember when we could go to bars?
Dude, so the second like bars become a thing where there's actually like people socializing and stuff, because right now if you go out, not right now because we're on our second shutdown now,
Yeah, here in
good old
Coast.
Oregon. I mentioned Portland enough.
yeah, we
People would
talked.
know.
I just
Yeah.
said the Wonder Ballroom earlier.
Yeah. And
Google it.
once that returns to normal, I'm getting my dating cards.
Oh,
So
God.
I don't have like a business card or anything, and also I think giving someone your business card is tacky.
I haven't done it.
Yeah,
okay?
I know, but your coworkers tell you to do it.
Yeah, I got business
Yeah.
cards from my work that have my cell phone number purely because my boss is like, "These are your baller cards,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "I'm
Okay.
not gonna do that. That's tacky and,
Yeah.
and awful."
So to parody that, but actually do it because I'm that much of a tool, is I'm
Jesus.
gonna make dating cards that have like my Instagram, my Snapchat, my phone number, and it's just gonna be the most like toxic masculinity thing in the world. Where I'm just gonna go up to women at bars and give them my card and be like, "Call me sometime," just to be like a total cunt.
Yeah, do you want to hit the thingy?
Oh,
Just make sure.
I'll try
So, yeah,
and watch the screen more.
You being a cunt.
Leads us into Royal Blood. It's bassist.
Why do you hate it? So bassist, I think bassist. I play guitar.
Yeah.
You play drums.
So
Wait. Okay, I had to burp. Okay, I'm drunk. That's the whole point of this goddamn podcast.
Okay.
So, Royal Blood or bassists in two-piece bands. Bass is fucking cool. I play guitar. I always look down on bassists because it's like, oh, you're just doing do 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 do. Like you're just a fucking tool bag. But damn, some fucking riffs, man. You can play some goddamn riffs.
Yeah.
Davey504, hit us up on YouTube.
Calling him
I'm
out.
calling him out. No, I like
Dude,
him.
he's awesome.
He's pretty fucking cool.
He's funny.
slapping the bass.
He's funny as fuck.
Yeah, he is.
Slap the like button.
Slap the leg button. That's fucking great. But yeah,
so
bass is making a hit.
I think bass is so the biggest difference to me. So your other two favorite two-piece bands are the White Stripes and the Black Keys. You love those bands. The things that like sets them apart from Royal Blood and I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and why I think I Don't Know How But They Found Me and Royal Blood are more fun for me to listen to, because I definitely like them way more than the White Stripes and Black Keys.
Yes.
I love them. And then like the White Stripes and Black Keys I don't really care too much about. Like they're cool, they're on, I'm having a good time. But when you have a guitar versus bass, it's more focused on your riffage. Like, you know, it's more rock riffs where like the vocals are there, but they're not the show. When you have a bass definitely sits like in the back of the mix for like kind of like audio, like the audio spectrum of stuff. Like drums and bass sit in the back, while vocals, guitar, and piano are up in the front.
Yeah.
So if it's just the vocals, they're the show. And that's the kind of music I like. It's when the vocals are the centerpiece. That's why I like pop punk and hardcore. It's because it's all about like vocals and words, and that's why I feel like I like these bands so much.
Yeah. No,
Out of the two pieces. So what I'm saying is, you need to learn bass.
Jeez, it's not that fucking difficult.
Davey 504, he's calling you out.
I've already learned one Royal Blood song.
You need his permission to play bass. It's against the law to play it for a guitarist
You
to
know
play
what?
bass
You know
without
what?
his permission.
I'm gonna play bass. I'm gonna play it with a goddamn pick, like a civilized human being. I'm not gonna finger pick bass. That's some
you can't.
bullshit.
You can't slap with a pick.
I'm not gonna slap. I'm gonna pick
All right,
that flick.
let's get into. Do you have more notes you want to go over before track
so
list?
one thing that I thought was funny because of how quickly they put out an album and became famous.
Yeah.
Because I heard about them from a guy I worked with. His name is Ian. He's an Irish fella, like straight from Ireland. He's the coolest fucking guy I've ever met. I worked with him, and he told me about them. He gave me a fucking mix CD and was like, check this out, mate. That was Australian. But he told me to check them out, and I did, and that's how I heard about them. They kind of gained popularity pretty quick, because this was 2014. They gained popularity. A big thing was that Matt Helders, the drummer for the Arctic Monkeys, wore their shirt, a Royal Blood shirt, while on tour. And,
I like it when bands do that.
Yeah, I like it when they show support for other bands. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, let's get into the track listing.
So one thing that I always found funny, like in that regard, though, like bands wearing other people's merch, is you remember that band 5 Seconds of Summer?
Oh God,
They were
are
like
they
a-
Australian?
Yeah, they were like a four-girl pop punk band, kind of like all.
Oh, they
Time
were
Low.
girls. I thought they were guys.
No, like 4 girls.
Oh,
Like it was
four
just
girls.
like that, like we're just making music for 14-year-old girls,
One
and we're gonna
Direction.
sell out stadiums because of
Yeah,
it.
One Direction.
But they were like pop punk, so they were like kind of a healthy bridge in a way. Of
Wait, they
boy-
were pop punk.
They're pretty good. I'll show you some of their stuff after the episode. Like
Are
they're
we gonna
solid.
do? Are we gonna do an album?
A
of
5
this?
Seconds of Summer album. Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
We might get popular enough one day where we're gonna have to take requests because we're gonna run out of shit.
No.
You don't think like people like, hey, you guys should review this album?
I mean, probably.
We
but,
should do it at some point. Do an
yeah.
album neither of us have listened to.
Yeah. Okay, we will eventually.
We'll decide on that, and
yeah.
it'll skip. It won't interact with us
Yeah.
choosing. So,
Yeah.
Or interrupt it.
Like every third will be like an album neither of us have heard of.
Yeah.
And
Once we
anyway,
get
so
popular.
I want to say the bassist for the band, he would always wear like metalcore band shirts. Like he would always wear "We Came as Romans" like merch, and it was just like, what the fuck? Where are you coming out of left field wearing like like heavy bands while you're like playing your One Direction version of pop punk?
Yeah.
Anyway, the track list.
Yeah. The track listing for Royal Blood by Royal Blood.
Out of the Black, love it. Come On Over, Figure It Out, You Can Be So Cruel, Blood Hands, Little Monster, Loose Change, Careless, 10 ton skeleton?
10-ton skeleton.
Okay, and Better Strangers.
Yes.
Such a good album.
And how many songs is that? 10?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It says at the
5,
bottom.
6, 10.
10 songs. It's like
32
minutes.
minutes, 41 seconds, average of 3 minutes a song.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
classic. That's just like pop and rock music. That's the standard.
Yeah, I prefer them to be around 45 minutes, but that's just me.
Songs?
Yes, 45-minute songs.
Did you enjoy the picture of the song I sent you, Reptile, by Periphery? 16-minute song.
That bothers me so much.
From the Hail Stan album.
Hail Stan. What is this, Eminem? Stan, That was an Eminem thing. I never got it because we didn't grow up with Eminem.
I don't get it either.
Eminem was just like a couple years before us.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get into the album. This is definitely a riff-heavy album with the
Yeah.
bass, but let's not look over Ben Thatcher's drums because his drumming is fucking intense.
And the little
Just the little crashes and whatnot.
just like the little accents and stuff
yeah.
he does like that. The way he'll play things to make it sound different than what he's playing. First song right off the album, Out of the Black, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like the way
The opening.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going because it's that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you don't know where it's going, and then the bass comes in and it's
Yeah.
so fucking heavy.
So, one of the things he does, I watched him do it live, is he one hands the eighth notes. And a normal drummer would want to two-hand it so that it's just kind of smoother. But it gets this kind of lightly rushed sound where it sounds like he's in a hurry even though he's playing at the same pace. It sounds more exciting. It's got more energy to it. And it's just the little things like that he does throughout the albums that makes it so engaging.
Yeah.
Where it's very obvious they're not using a MIDI fake drum kit just because it has so much feeling behind it, which I love.
And that first song, Out of the Black, really does set the mood for the album, and just that opening, you would think like, oh, we got to open up with something fucking cool. You know, let's get a cool bass riff going. No, we're gonna open it up with a fucking awesome drum. Just and you don't know where it's going because it's
So-
like that opening drum just can go anywhere.
When I was a couple nights ago trying and failing to think of an album to make you listen to this next week, that's kind of how I was judging albums. If the first song wasn't like what I wanted it to be, AC's on.
Oh yeah, we forgot to turn that off.
Oh well. Hiccups, man, hiccups.
It's only episode number fucking 12.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
So, like if the first song wasn't like what I wanted it to be, like I knew the singles off the album.
Yeah.
Like I would like, I did the first Metallica album because the Four Horsemen is one of my favorite metal songs.
Yeah.
Like straight metal, and it's on that album. But the first song I was listening to it like, no, skipping this one. So this, like the second this song starts playing, I skipped it because I've heard the song so many times.
Yeah.
Like on the first album listen that I did quite a few days ago, I just skipped it because I was like, I know this song. I know it's gonna get me jazzed and super excited to listen to the album. But yeah, it's like it's such a fun way to like, and this is who Royal Blood is.
Yeah, it's one of the singles too. 5 singles out
That's
of
a-
10 songs.
That's much in my opinion. I think it should be like a third of the album should be released as singles, not half the album.
Well, see, so what I don't like is that only singles get played on the radio.
Yeah.
But there are other songs on this album that I think could be played on the radio.
Well, that's why we don't listen to the radio.
So, Come On Over is a good one. That's got a good bass riff on it. Come On Over. It's
Yeah.
got a quick like bass riff.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard to fucking think because the way. So when I saw them live, they are exceptional live. They sound perfect live.
Yeah.
Um,
I've seen videos of them playing live. They're fucking great.
He's the bassist switches bass guitars between each song because he needs a different tuning.
Yeah.
That's how he achieves his sound. God, I'm fucking burpy. And not in, like the workout way. So yeah, he switches out bass guitars between each song because he needs a different tuning. And I was like watching the guy like tune the guitars between each song. It was so fucking funny. But Come On Over is another good riff song. Now, one of my favorites, and it's the one that gets played all over the radio, is Figure It Out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the one that I attempted to learn on guitar because you could kind of do it. It doesn't quite sound right, but it's on a bass guitar.
Figure It Out. Like I completely understand why it's the single, but
It's the most like
but
poppy
because of
song.
that, I don't listen to it like ever.
Well, yeah, but it's the most like commercially poppy song off the album
Yeah.
that they
It's-
needed something like
It's
that.
the high hopes of this album.
Yes,
Like
yes, it is the high hopes of this.
it's
album.
like I'm not gonna be mad that it's on,
Panic
but
at
I'm
the
not
Disco.
gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
Which almost had 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Jesus.
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 Yeah.
So Figure
wild.
It Out. That's a good one. You Can Be So Cruel it's a little bit slower one, but it's heavy.
But yeah, but it's like
Now,
I loved it.
here's one of my. I'll say one of my favorites, and then we'll talk about one of your favorites. One of my favorites is Little Monster.
How dare you?
Was it going to be yours?
I think so. Hold on, let me refresh my brain. Yep.
Yeah. Little Monster is a goddamn good song.
It sounds like an Under Oath song.
Is that the one that you were talking about the
Yeah.
other day? You mentioned it briefly.
It sounds exactly like an Under Oath song. So like after he does like the and then like it does like the mellow vocal, that would 100% be where Aaron, the drummer of Under Oath, would be singing. And then after like the 4 bars of him singing, that's when Spencer's screams would come in. Like I was like sitting there like, I know this. I know what happens in this song, but then it didn't because it's Royal Blood, not Under Oath, and they don't do metal screams and stuff like that. But I was like, this is like a really good rock Under Oath song. This is what Sleepwave, the band that came after Under Oath briefly broke up, should have been. But Spencer wanted to be the Foo Fighters, and it sucked.
We know how we feel about
Yep.
the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl is a great human being, and that's all I'll say.
Yep. But no, Little Monster is
Yeah.
far and away my favorite song on the album.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
One of your favorites.
It's on my like main playlist now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I that is all I've been hoping to do is show you a song that you haven't heard that you would put on a playlist.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that song, and it spanked my ass cheeks around like
I love spanking Taryn's
they
ass
were
cheeks.
made of fucking butter.
Butter?
Do you spank butter?
You spank. I don't know,
I
but
slap a good old chicken titty sometime. You know, you slap it down on the cutting board.
it's like you slap at the base.
Yeah.
So what's one? Okay, so since I took yours, what's one of yours?
Fuck. I mean, like, it's just my favorite song, man. It was so good.
You don't have another one that you like down there?
I mean, like, I liked the back half of the album a lot.
The back half of the album was actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
Like, 10 Ton Skeleton was a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
that one's got a fun like, dan,
yeah.
dan it. Yeah, it's like
Like, just the whole album was really good, and I really liked it, but just Little Monster was like
Little Monster.
so in my face. Like,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, if we wanted to be metal, we could.
Exactly.
But we're not gonna.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, since you can't really think of anything else, like Out of the Black was a good
Yep.
one that started off the album.
Yep. I
Um,
already talked about Out of the Black. How dare you?
Better Strangers.
Better Strangers.
Better
was
Strangers
a great
and
way to close the
Careless.
album.
And Careless.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Honestly, this album is one of those few albums that I can listen to every single song.
It feels like a hits album.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels like a hits album because even with your bands that you love, there's a couple songs on the hits album that you skip.
Yeah.
But on this one, there are none. I can listen to this. I listened to it on the way home. Like, I put it on, and it's like, it felt normal. Like, when we did Paramore last week,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll go put on Paramore because I know I got to listen to it because I'm going to be doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And there's a few songs on there that are great. But this one just, like, is like, this feels normal. This feels right.
Feels so
Royal
good.
Blood feels right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a fun fucking album. Like I said, it's one of the few that I can listen to all the way through. That is why, Taryn, I give it a 9.
A 9.
A 9
My
out of
goodness.
10.
My
A 9
goodness.
out of 10.
I'm still trying to figure out which album I want to do.
Okay, while you're doing that, and I'm the only one paying attention,
9.
I'm going to say you're going to give it a 7.5 or 8.
How about you shut the fuck up and mind your own business?
Because this is my business.
If it was more like Little Monster, I'd give it a mid 8, but because we only have the one absolute ass cheek slapper, I'm giving it a 7.5.
See, what did I say? What did I say? 7.5. So one thing that I thought was funny was I was reading reviews about it, and it got pretty good positive reviews from everyone. Like Metacritic, which is an average review of like 15 different reviews.
Yeah.
It was at a 77, which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But people are like calling it it's not revolutionizing rock, it's broadening rock's horizons, which I appreciate because it's definitely dipping its toes into the metal.
It's definitely also other than Greta Van Fleet, I haven't really heard much rock music in a while. Like that's come out cuz like all the rock bands are like the Foo Fighters and like this like new age alt rock. And
I don't think Greta Van Fleet is an accurate.
But I mean like that like kind of like new version of old school rock. Like we aren't really getting that much.
I can't think of anything that sounds like Royal Blood.
Oh
like
yeah.
like Greta Van Fleet sounds like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying like that. It's like it's sounding like a band. I'm just saying like it sounds like what rock like
Yes.
It sounds like it's sitting with the other big rock bands from like the early 90s and late 80s. Like it sounds like it's sitting at the same table as them, but
Okay.
a modern version of that.
I can get
Yeah.
I can get that.
Yeah. Back when rock was good.
The 80s?
Yeah, you had Zeppelin.
No, the Zeppelin was good in the 70s.
I don't know.
I think they put most of the shit out in the 70s, not the fucking 80s. The 80s is Van Halen and
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith was late 70s. Zeppelin, or not Zeppelin, Van Halen
You
is
hate.
overrated.
Even though he invented guitar tapping.
No, Eddie Van Halen is a goddamn genius. But Van Halen as a whole, Like, I'm sorry.
Are you trying
it's
to-
Van Halen, not Van Hagar. Okay? Joe Dirt. Like, I don't even, like, yeah. It fucking,
The guitar work in Van Halen's amazing. Though.
yes, but Panama is a shit song. Hot for Teacher is a great song. I
Yeah.
love that song. Hot for Teacher,
Yeah.
love that fucking song. Jump is a shit song. I'm sorry, but if you have to use a fucking keyboard, you're a shit song. But I was reading a lot of the reviews. Like, one of my favorite reviews was like, somebody better warn Jack White. And you know how much I love Jack White.
Yeah, and you know how much Jack White's a petty little bitch when it comes to bands doing anything similar to him.
Okay, I'm sorry. You mentioned it earlier. I love the White Stripes and I love the Black Keys, but
Jack White's a child.
when you go through the Black Keys, there's so many similarities.
Yeah.
Now, I am 100% okay with someone doing as good. Jack White, you've had it good. You've made your success. Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney of the fucking Black Keys, you've had your success. Like, just fucking get along. They get along now.
Yeah, that'd be like fucking Metallica and Slayer having like some. I guess the more accurate thing would be Metallica and Megadeth, and they did, but only because they kicked the guitarist out of the band that started Megadeth, so that's why they had beef.
Well, you know what?
But like, it's just
Metallica's
like why
shit.
early Metallica's great.
Oh, early Metallica's great.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
Sandman and One and all that shit.
Oh, I meant like the good songs. Fuck those songs.
I
Fuck
don't
Enter
honestly.
Sandman.
I don't know very many Metallica songs.
After we're done listening to 5 Seconds of Summer, I'll play the Four Horsemen. Dude, it's such a good fucking song. But anyway, Royal Blood. That's who we were talking about.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think Two Pieces are the fucking cat's pajamas of bands right now. They are like what's going to make rock and more alternative music from like they are what's bringing it to the radio.
So, and that's something that I think this is good to talk about because we talk about Two Pieces. This album was just recorded purely based on the bass and the drums and then like a tambourine or two. Like this was made to be played live.
Yeah.
I Don't Know How But They Found Me is another two piece that we're pretty much comparing them to right now.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. Great band, great music, putting out great music, but definitely it's going to be difficult to play live.
Well, no, they're just going to have backing tracks.
Yes, they're going to have backing tracks, but like it's not pure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
And but honestly, the White Stripes and the Black Keys were not pure. The Green Day, who's a three-piece, has a fourth member.
Yeah.
That no one talks about.
Yeah.
The Black Keys have a third member that no one talks about. His name is Jason.
But no, so like the thing I think that's making these two pieces so cool is when you have too many people sitting in a room, I feel like you end with like a product that feels kind of lifeless because it doesn't have like that heart and soul in it because it's someone's heart and soul that got discussed and debated between five people and turned into the final product. So it's like once you start changing stuff about it and when it's just two guys, I feel like, well, two people, women can make music too. So can non-binary pals.
Are you supposed to call them pals?
Guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
I love that. I'm gonna say that so much more.
The first time I heard it was Kenji Lopez while cooking.
Kenji Lopez?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought he was racist. I'm just kidding. I just said that. Kenji Lopez is a sweet human being who knows how to cook.
Yes, he does, and he is so wholesome. He moved to Seattle, so we might be getting a Kenji restaurant nearby, and I'm gonna drive up there. If you want to come with, you're more than welcome.
I mean, we're never getting out of this pandemic, so
yeah, so we'll have to drive to restaurants.
Oh god, we're gonna have to go out of state.
Yeah.
And why are you quarantining for 2 weeks? Oh, because we drove out of state to go to a fucking restaurant.
We'd wear masks.
Well, yeah, but at my work, you actually have to send your temperature.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Two-piece bands.
Two-piece bands, yeah. And like it's two people just like there's not much alteration I feel like going into the music, so it has like that just like real emotional feeling that like unique music has.
Yes.
Where it doesn't feel like it's being run through a processor and then you're ending up with just like a 3-minute verse chorus outro kind of song where it's just like it feels just like everything else.
Yeah. So I mean, when I was looking at
They're not like
this,
the other bands.
When I looked at the statistics on this album, like the Paramore one, when I was looking at all the people like involved, because if you produce,
Yeah.
there were so fucking many. You had everyone in the band, producers, the Hayley Williams songwriters or whoever. I don't know if
Yeah.
she writes her own music, but there was just like there was a dozen people.
Early
This
on,
one-
the band was a collaborative songwriting process, but
yeah.
now who knows?
the Royal Blood album, there were 5 people.
Oh,
There were 5 people because they had 3 producers. You had one producer and then an audio mixer, and then someone else, and then the 2 band members.
I would say,
which is very minimal.
I would say
nowadays.
the only one probably helping write the music would probably be the producer. So really,
Yes.
that's 3.
Yeah. 3.
Yeah,
But 5 people to record an album is
yeah,
like the Paramore one. There was, I mean, over a dozen.
yeah.
Which it does take that, but this one just sounds so raw and natural.
Yeah.
Which is great. The one of the magazines, I like to pick a quote or a review that just kind of pinpoints how I feel about the album. The NME magazine said that this is the turbo bastard of a rock album,
Yeah.
and I just love that for some reason. Turbo bastard.
I love bad reviews that make me like the band more.
And I saw a few of those, which they ended up still giving them good reviews.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up one of the classics of bad reviews that made me like the band more. If Vomit were a movie soundtrack, if Vomit were a movie, this would be the soundtrack. Cannibal Corpse.
Oh yeah, that's accurate.
Love that. Like the second I saw that, I was like, "Fuck yeah, it is."
Honestly, I was reading some of the reviews. I don't think people know how to review music.
It's definitely because it's the most personal taste thing.
Yes, it is. And
Because I've had a discussion like this with so many people where it's like a lot of people don't know how to separate talent from what they enjoy. Like, because you can listen to Polyphia and some people will just be like, don't like it, it's not good. It's like, no, it's good. You have every right to not like it, but it's super talented. Yeah, but it doesn't sound good. Okay, but it's super talented. It doesn't sound good. And it's like, no, you're not understanding. Like, just because you don't enjoy something doesn't mean there's not a lot of talent and, like, expertise that goes into it.
Isn't, like, the famed movie critic Roger Ebert, didn't he write a movie that was just lauded as one of the worst movies ever made in, like, the 70s?
Probably.
I
don't
think
know.
so. I think that happened. He wrote some, like, weird, like, I think it was, like, almost like softcore porn.
But
It had just a bunch of hot girls in it in, like, the 70s.
I always hate the critic review of, like, the review of critics, I suppose, where it's like, you can't do this, so you don't have the right to have an opinion. It's like, no,
I don't agree with that either.
Everyone has an opinion.
But
and deserves one.
I think that it if you do write movies or you play an instrument, you therefore can appreciate the talent and time and whatnot that it went into put that out there.
And I feel like that's why I'm going to like a lot of your stuff, even though most of it is stuff I'll never listen to.
Yeah, and same
Like-
same with me. Like yeah,
okay.
like the Dead Kennedys. Like most of that album was like
Dog shit.
no, not dog shit, but
I
like
loved it.
like
I loved it
I
so much.
appreciated it.
Yeah.
I appreciated it from where it came from because you know me. I listen to a ton of old shit. I was listening
You
to
definitely like the riffier stuff,
riffy
and
stuff.
they aren't riffy stuff.
No, they're not. But
Jesus Christ.
this is my 3rd beer. That's the whole point of this goddamn podcast. It's not the 3rd
Anyway.
beer on the podcast. I pregame this pretty hardcore.
Jeez. You could really see how hard I was trying to find a band to play for you just by looking at what I was listening to last night at work.
So yeah, Royal Blood. So we're pretty much ending this one.
Yep.
So Royal Blood by Royal Blood, very good album. Royal Blood appears to be coming out with a new album here soon, I think, because they just released a single called "Trouble's Coming." So Mike Kerr, if you want to come on and defend yourself from this asshole, I think you're great, and you should hide your sound until you die. Ben Thatcher, if you want to come and play the drums behind the camera there, you can. I'll buy a bass guitar and we can jam out. Jam out with our clams out. So that's a thing that I just said and is on the record forever. But yeah, Royal Blood. It's one thing I liked about Royal Blood is from the moment I heard them, they jumped in to be one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
For a debut album, this is one of the best debut albums, which is saying something because most good bands' debut albums are usually their best.
Yeah.
And then they fucking go downhill from there.
Okay, so I have a big reason behind why that's true. It's because you can spend a decade working on your debut album. You and your buds could have been working on it since you were 14, always jamming, always working on those songs. And then when you're 24, 25, you release those songs with a professional studio. You compiled all of that hard work over the past decade into this album. And your next album you have to put out in 2 years.
Yep. No, I completely agree.
And then people are like, wow, that was really good. Give me another one. And it's like, go fuck yourself.
I also think what it is that it's that is you. You put out that album, you have 6 months where you're just living off of that.
Yeah.
After you put out the album, you're just fucking on top of the world. Your album is the bee's knees, it's the cat's pajamas. And then now you have people telling you what to do. There's more people in the room telling you how to process those 3 choruses, or 3 verses and a chorus.
So next time, do this instead.
And to be honest, Royal Blood's next album, Hook, Line, and Sinker, was good, but a little overproduced.
Yeah.
It was just ever so slightly. It wasn't as raw. So that was my only problem.
Yeah.
But it was still good. There's still quite a few songs on that album that I will listen to. But that's just my only critique. But what am I? I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So, all right. This is Surprisingly Music. So next week, what are we going to be listening to, Taryn?
We're going to be listening to modern punk.
Okay, modern punk.
I gave you old punk. Now we're going modern punk.
Okay.
Great album for Blood and Empire, Anti-Flag.
For Blood and Empire.
This is an album that came out as a result of the Bush administration. So a lot of its focus is on the Iraq and Afghani wars and stuff that he was kind of funneling all of our country's time and resources into. So this is a product of...
Are you trying to make a political statement with this?
No, I'm just saying that's like what is going into this album. So like when
What year did this come out?
Like 2006. 2006.
Okay, 2006. Because from 2001 to 2005, everyone loved Bush. Bush was so popular. He was.
But I'm still thinking like there was a lot of negative albums about him.
Well, yeah, because he was a Republican. But,
yeah.
But because of 9/11, he was a very popular president.
Yeah.
So, okay. What was it called? For Blood and Empire?
For Blood and Empire. It's their most popular album. I kind of was debating on doing Terror State or the Die for Your Government album, but I feel like this one just kind of is like their sound.
Are they a political band?
Anti-flag? That doesn't mean anti the American flag, does it?
It does.
That's literally a line from their song Right On.
I know. So, yeah. So first of all, if Royal Blood can release a song called Royal Blood by Royal Blood on an album called Royal Blood, that would be great. But
the album's out, so they would have to do what Wage War just did and release a song from their first album like 5 years later after they already did 2 albums since then.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Oh, it is.
That is bizarre.
Weird. So
but it's kind of nice because like it sucks. It's like a not good song, but it's peak nostalgia.
So I'm going to give you a forewarning. I've already picked your next album. It's going to be a Black Keys album.
Oh,
and
yeah?
You're going to fucking love it.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to love it. I guarantee it. I'm the Men's Warehouse guy. You're going to guarantee.
I'm giving it a 4. I'm not even going to listen to it.
All right. So, for Blood and Empire.
2 points for each member.
Fuck. They have a third member, so 6 points.
Damn it.
For
for Blood and Empire Anti-Flag next week. I hope you enjoyed us shooting the shit about Royal Blood.
Royal Blood by Royal Blood.
Yeah.
So, all right. This has been Surprisingly Music, where I get drunk and Taryn stays sober, but he's still fucking weird. And we are r/, signing off.